Sacred Insights 101. Welcome to your reading for December. I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, bear with me on this reading. This was really interesting because the cards, and maybe you can give some insight into this. I've not had this happen before. The cards did not want to shuffle for Pisces. They just didn't want to shuffle. I was using the Archangel Power deck, so it's the Archangels, and it's a rather thick deck, so sometimes it's a bit challenged, it's a bit tricky to shuffle, but they just would not go together. They just did not want to shuffle. So I thought, all right, so I'll do it this way. So I just kind of broke it up this way and then tapped it with the crystal again, held it to my heart, and tried to shuffle. This huge pack, huge. There must have been 30 cards came all at once. Now with this deck, that's usually what happens. I'll shuffle for a bit and then several cards would come out, but it's usually maybe 5 to 8 cards, and then that sort of tells the story, and that can make a full reading. But this was 30 to 40 cards. It was huge. So I put it back and I said, okay, can we narrow it down to, narrow down the cards with the message that you want to relay. So I shuffle, and again another huge pack comes out. That typically tells me, it's kind of my symbol for, they have a lot to say. There's a lot that wants to be said. At the same time though, so again, I put that back. That's too many cards. I put it back and I started shuffling, and I noticed that the cards were very, very sticky. It felt like there was just this magnetic energy kind of holding the cards together. And then at one point, as I was shuffling, they just felt like they were just sticking together. They did not want to shuffle, and they did not want to shuffle this way either. So I'm sharing that with you. I would love to hear your impressions, Pisces. What do you get? The meaning. What do you get from that? Have you ever had a deck be so sticky? I've not experienced that before, but it was really, really tight. It felt like in the center of the deck was just this magnetic field that just didn't really want them to separate. It was like, like sludging to pull apart. Pulling to have to get it apart like that. And then a couple of cards would come out, and then a couple of cards came out. So I thought I'd ask you if you know what that means. I've never had that happen. Also, I typically am not a tarot. Even this is Archangel Tarot. I have studied the tarot, and I know a little bit, but not a whole lot. Not a lot of experience with it. And so I don't typically, because they're oracles, I don't read cards that go upside down. Another thing that was happening with these, I've never seen anything like that. I go like this, and as I'm doing it, cards were completely flipping. They were completely going, I'd go like this, and the card would literally turn itself. As I watched it turn itself. I have never seen that happen. So I thought, all right, are Pisces feeling magnetically sort of stuck? Are some Pisces kind of feeling stuck? Are some having a hard time? See, they're really sticky. Are some Pisces having a hard time sort of getting social? If you think of shuffling the cards as the two decks kind of coming together and that not wanting to happen, is there something in Pisces that's struggling to want to connect or mingle? What do you think? Okay. So here are the cards that came out. So let's see what they have with the first, and the one that wants to go first, and the one that came out first. Love and blessings, fill your life, harmonious relationships with family and friends, happily ever after. Just this happily ever after with a big rainbow, and Everything's happy and beautiful. There's little happy children over here. This to me feels like Pisces, what Pisces wants. This very much feels like what Pisces wants. This is the card that wants to go first, and so they're saying that overall is what Pisces is wanting. And then the Ace of Michael comes in and says that a wonderful new idea may be coming for you, or it may have already come. You may have this wonderful idea of something that you would like to create for yourself that would you know, give you this life that you're wanting. And so for some of you, you have an idea and maybe feeling stuck. Some of you will get an idea in December, and if so, Archangel Michael is saying it's a wonderful idea. Don't allow any bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Don't allow others' opinions to stop you. Don't let your past stop you. Don't let anything get in your way. If you get an idea that will get you towards this that you're wanting, don't let anything stop you. Clearing up communication with others. See, this could be why they were not wanting to shuffle. Clearing up any communications with others. So this could be that you have an idea, you have something that you'd like to pursue, or it could also be maybe in a workplace. They're showing me in a workplace where you're working with someone and maybe not getting along, maybe in conflicts with some people, where you're trying to accomplish something, and these conflicts that just feel petty. I'm hearing you guys saying, you know, it's just so silly. It's so petty and silly and annoying, because you can see what you're trying to accomplish, and you can see the way through, and it's a wonderful idea, and you know it is. So trying to clear up any communication with people. This is a challenge that you can resolve. That's your next card. So it would indicate challenges with people. Withdraw from the drama, getting out of the story. Have patience with yourself. Yeah, because it sounds, you know, I could feel you. It's like, this is just so silly. Silly's the word. Have patience with yourself. Also try to have patience with them. Everyone is doing the best they can. Now they're wanting me to point out what they're working on. It's like a puzzle, and you know, trying to put the puzzle pieces together. And it could be that someone is getting in the way, maybe causing you frustration. It doesn't really feel like causing you any doubt, but it could be that this is a bit of a partnership where you're needing to build this puzzle together, and you're just not agreeing on how it can go together. You, it feels like, can see it clearly. And so maybe there's another way of communicating what you're trying to say. But this is a challenge that you can resolve, is what they're saying. They're also showing me, like, as if, you know, sort of go ahead and put the puzzle pieces in there and show them. So it could be that while you've been trying to communicate what you'd like to do, what Spirit is suggesting is that in some way to actually create it and show them. Show them what it will look like versus talking about what it will look like. And that, okay, this wants to come back. So in other words, where they were sticking together, not really wanting to sort of shuffle together, it's as if, kind of, hold on, let's sort of build the puzzle, even if it's in a picture and not the real actual thing, but even if you finish the puzzle, build the puzzle so they can actually see it. I hope that makes sense to some people, to some of you. You're also getting this Strength and Grace card comes in. So again, sort of bear with me if this doesn't, in some ways may not flow. Some of you feel like you're out of sync. like you're out of sync. Like you know what you're wanting. You know how the puzzle pieces fit together, but there's certain things, whether it's other people or your own fears, or there's just things that are just sort of blocking you. That it's frustrating. And yet you also know that the idea that you have is a great idea. So, you can resolve this, is what they're saying. You can resolve this. So with strength and grace, self-confidence, forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is coming up again. That is not to say that you've done anything, quote, wrong. It's the idea that forgiving yourself is another way of saying that is letting go of expecting yourself to do more than is even possible. In other words, to have to control other people. Wow, this came up in another reading. Okay. Forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for feeling like you should be able to resolve this better, maybe, with this person. So then you sort of beat yourself up because you try something and it's not working, and then you beat yourself up. If that resonates with you, that's the idea of forgiveness. It's not that you've done something wrong and you're a bad person and you need to forgive yourself. It's not like that at all. It's more about forgiving yourself for you thinking that the efforts that you've made should have been different or should have created some success, and they haven't yet. That you're sort of beating yourself up a little bit, and they're saying, no, stop that. You don't want to do that. No, you're doing great. There's a strength and a grace about you through kindness and self-confidence. And so, letting go of blaming yourself and knowing that you can see it. It's like you have the idea, you can see it. You can see the puzzle, it's great. And just trying to work with other people has maybe been a bit frustrating. And so, just sort of forgive yourself and know that you're on the right track and you're doing the right thing. They're wanting you to clean this up. It's like, clean it up. Clean it up. He's got his broom. It feels like cleaning up the communication with this person, cleaning up the idea of who's going to do what, cleaning up if it's other people, if there's conflicts with other people. It's like, clean it up, because you've got things to do. You have some really exciting things coming up. And it's as if, she's saying, okay, detaching from the drama of others. It's as if you're in the story. It's as if if you hear yourself saying, well, he said this and she said that, and then I said this and then he said that and then she did that and then I should have done that. Or can you believe that she did that? Okay, that kind of dialogue is you in the story. And when you're in the story, it's running on emotion and drama. And so she's saying, get out of the drama, and she's inviting you to this position while you're also in this position. You're working on creating the puzzle, but she's inviting you to come up here. Get out of the drama and the emotional story with others, if that resonates with you. When you get out of the drama and you can perceive it from an objective perspective, wisdom can come in. That's the word of the month for December, by the way. Wisdom is the word that Spirit gave me. So allowing your mind to have a priority over your heart when emotions are running high in drama that might be going on in your life. Especially here with Thanksgiving and Christmas, and family dynamics can be emotional. So they're inviting you to allow your mind to kind of, give you some perspective, get a higher perspective, and just get out of the story, so that you now have more choice on how to respond to situations versus emotionally reacting to comments that might be coming at you, things that might be coming at you. Yeah, it's like you just want to clean that up. Let's look at this situation has ended. So for others of you, or for those of you that this resonates with, it's almost as if it's almost as if you feel like you've resolved this before and now it's coming back. And they're saying, nope, the situation has ended. You are free from this. New opportunities for happiness are coming up next. So this will resonate with some of you in terms of if you feel like some big drama had ended and may appear like it's coming back, and some of you might be going, oh, I can't do that anymore. It's like, yep, take a bow. You've already ended that. You're not having to go through that again. Nope, that's ended. It's not coming back. You don't need to open the door to even the idea that that's coming back. You are free of that. For others of you, it may be that that in December, especially given that this is coming up after this challenge, getting out of the drama, forgiving yourself, healing, right? Getting past this trauma. It's like this for some of you. This will be happening in December, where it just ends and there's a finality to it, where you're clear about it. You're able to get up from a higher place, handle it with grace, get out of the drama, and just kind of, it's just sort of they're showing me like this, where you're sort of taking your power back, is what they're saying. Where you just sort of take your power back. You take a bow. Okay, I'm just not going to play in that drama anymore. I'm just not going to do that. And in that, you are cleaning it up. You are cleaning up the conflicts and drama that might be going on in your life. The things that might be holding you back. People that may be wanting to keep you stuck. People that may not want to work with you in positive, healthy ways, that don't want to shuffle. I'd love to hear what you guys think of that. Please comment down below so I can see what meaning you get from it. Some of you might have different meanings depending on how that resonates with you. But I've never had a deck be so sticky like that. Okay. All right. So back to the reading. Let's see. So as you go forward, it's time for new plans. We have this. Okay. So he wants to come back and say, all right, this wonderful new idea. Now you're going to take a bow and get out of that drama of other people, get settled into yourself, and start taking actions towards your plans and what you would like to create. As you do, and it's saying, now it's time, Pisces, for an exciting new challenge, a new kind of challenge. It's time for something exciting and new. You have what it takes to succeed. You have what it takes. It's time. You also get another one. It's time to act upon your plans. We have an idea. You have plans on how you'd like to carry it out. It's time to take action on this. So you kind of have three cards. We have this wonderful idea. This is an exciting new kind of challenge than what you've had in the past. That's over. And it's time to take action on the plans that you have, thought about and imagined. It's time to take action on this. Some of you may have had this idea for some time, and this feeling stuck, or knowing what you want to do but just not having, maybe it's courage, maybe this is why strength is coming in with the lion. You're wanting the courage now. It's like there's this sort of breakthrough that feels like it's going to happen for some of you, if it hasn't happened already. You could be at different stages of this reading, as my readings go, a bit like a story. You could be at different stages of this. So for some of you, it's like you've had this wonderful idea. You know it's great. You want to create it, but for some reason you either haven't, or you just kind of feel stuck. For some of you, that could be happening, and so they're inviting you to ask why you're wanting to create it. Find your why to your wonderful idea. This is coming up underneath this one. Find your why. For those of you who might be feeling stuck in moving forward with this wonderful idea that you know is great, that will bring you this, what feels like for you, happily ever after. Like, oh, this would just be the ultimate wonderful thing. I would love to create this in my life. They're inviting you to ask the why. Wisdom being the word for December, allowing your mind to answer that in connection with your heart. It's like your heart's already in. It's like your heart's all in. You know what you want. You have the great idea. Now we're going to bring in the mind and the wisdom of why. Why are you wanting to create that? Answering that's going to be really big to help you get unstuck and move forward and start creating this. To be honest with yourself. All right, so we have these 3 cards talking about time. It's time to act. It's time to act. And at the same time, some Pisces feeling like they have not been able to. You know, you could have had this feeling for some time now, Pisces. Some of you may have been feeling like this for some time. You have this great idea, and it's just like you're stuck. Like you just keep hitting a wall. Truth be told, to be honest with yourself, and now she wants to come back, okay? Be honest with yourself with why you want to create this. Why are you wanting to create this? And to make sure that you're not wanting to create it to please others. To make sure that, you know, and see, that might be what's having you stuck. Some of you might be stuck because you're afraid if you move forward, you're going to end up in a similar situation that you've been in the past that has now ended, but some of you may still feel a bit raw to it and feel like if you were to take action on your wonderful idea and your new plans that something from the past will come back and haunt you again. It won't. Others of you feel like if you take that step, it may not come back from the past, but that the future will bring a similar situation and you just don't want to go through it again. So it just kind of keeps you sort of stuck, sort of stalled. To be honest with yourself and know why you're creating what you're creating, to stay strong like you are, strong and graceful, and also to get in the flow with Spirit. Get into the flow with Spirit. That's what this one is about. To the sea. This is about getting in the flow with life itself. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You're not alone. Spirit's with you. And then we also got this, and this is interesting, you guys. We got the fork in the road. Now this fork in the road is coming up. It's interesting how this is laying on the table and the way that the cards are laid out. We have this, it's time to act. It's time to act. It's right. You're ready for a new challenge with your wonderful idea. And then down here we have your why. Why are you doing it? And connecting with Spirit. Being completely honest with your higher self. Like being completely honest with yourself in terms of being lined up with your soul's purpose and your soul's passions. And following, co-creating with Spirit. Like for some of you, it feels like you've been trying to do it alone. Or you've been trying to sort of do it without Spirit. Interesting. And so they're saying, you know, it's going to make all the difference if you get in the flow with Spirit, co-creating and working with Spirit and life itself. This is a fork in the road for you guys, for some of you. If this resonates, so the fork in the road feels like, okay, are you going to try to do something the same way that you have attempted things in the past? That's one route. And yet you've been stuck for some of you. It's like every time you start to go there, it's like this wall just sort of stops you. It's as if this is the way you have accomplished things in the past, is sort of on your own. Maybe you always felt like you had to do it yourself. Maybe having been through some really, really hard times, you may have had some moments in your life where you were pretty angry with life, pretty angry with Spirit, felt betrayed or let down by life. And so you may have learned or decided that, okay, I'm on my own here, kind of thing. And yet there's, you know, you kind of know that's not true, and you know that when you're working with Spirit, things go much easier. We know this, right? So the fork in the road is referring to either you're going to try to do it the way you've done it in the past, which for many of you know that's not going to work. That's what the stall is. That's kind of what the stall is. It's like your higher self and life stalling you, because that route is not going to, it's just not kind of where we're at anymore. And the other fork in the road, the other path, is to find your why and follow your heart, follow the spirit, follow being in the flow with your higher self and working with spirit. So then we also get this one, and this one explains a lot. So they've asked me to read this one for you. It's called By the Book. This By the Book card is also coming up here with Going to the Sea, which is about getting in the flow, getting into the flow of life and how life works. Here comes an airplane. So I'm going to read this By the Book, is what this says. Okay. The universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Beyond human understanding. This is where spirit is, right? And so we're being invited to work with spirit, because spirit understands things that we can't understand. So it's like we need to team up with spirit. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them rather than being the rebel and flouting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules of life and society, even if they seem to make no sense. I love that it says that. I've had so many times in life where I have followed the guidance that made absolutely no sense at the time, that later was absolutely brilliant. I couldn't have thought of it myself. But by following it, I was able to see on the other side of it how absolute perfection it was. There was no question that that life was working with me to have me do something, to invite me to do something that made no sense, that by doing it made all the difference. So even if these rules don't make sense, follow your guidance. Release any resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to the universal laws, and it will be easier to accomplish what you want to accomplish, to go by the book. Go by the book. Follow the laws of the universe. So this is the fork. This is the choice that you guys get to make, and it's a choice, right? Life is about choice. So you can either continue to try to do things yourself, in which case you're most likely going to continue to feel that wall sort of stopping you. The wall is another sort of guidance that Spirit is giving us, Pisces, to really think about, really consider, do you really want to try to do it this way again? Maybe you've tried many times to accomplish things on your own. You might try the other road this time. You might try the other fork this time. And so study the laws of the universe. You might just sort of Google it, learn a bit more about the laws of the universe, how life works. You didn't get any cards talking about meditation or connecting with your higher self. It feels like, many of you do that. If you're watching my reading, you probably are, have some level of meditation or have your way of connecting with Spirit. So they're inviting you to connect with Spirit, getting to the flow. And from this place, it's from this place where you'll then want to take your actions towards manifesting and creating this wonderful life with Spirit. Working with Spirit, following the guidance that you get from Spirit, while you then take the action steps here in this mortal plane. And that's where this then happens. That's when this can happen. So remember, this was your first card, and they said this is kind of what you guys are wanting. And then the reading goes on to sort of talk about how you can get here, right? How can you get here? Well, first is to, get out of any drama that's going on with other people. Take a bow. Any difficult times are ending, or they have ended, and you don't need to bring them back by fear of them coming back. We'll just bring them back. No need to do that. That's over. So maybe some declutter, cleaning it up, letting it go, forgiveness of, mostly it feels like forgiveness of yourself, because it feels like being hard on yourself, like you feeling like you should be able to do something that you haven't been able to do, or you should have been able to accomplish something, or you should have been able to figure something out. It's like, let's let that go. And then taking action on your new plans, once you look at your why, and then follow the book, go by the book, and get in the flow, and follow your guidance from Spirit. And that is when this comes. All right. All right. Good month. Good month for you guys. Today is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. Also in December we have Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, have a very happy Christmas. Have a great December. Otherwise, I love you guys. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.